Hey guys, Esper with you guys this time. I know the cameraman actually gets to have a shot, right? So, as I said in the beginning, I'm a big guy for safety, and I know that we had a full safety short up not too long ago. It got a lot of views, but wasn't too well received, and I think the main problem for that is we tried to fit too much information in too short of a time. So what I'm going to do is I brought my own personal pistol, okay? This is a Shiloh style DR 980. It is modeled off of the Glock Generation 17. Okay. What I'll be doing is I will actually be walking you through step by step for this particular pistol of mine. Safety features and proper gun handling safety. Okay. Because that is one thing that I made sure to make sure of with a lot of these guys that we were filming with. Safety, safety, safety. I want to make sure that if we are shooting, whether it be pistols, whether it be fire rifles, I mean, for Lord's sake, it could be BB guns. I know everybody or most everybody knows what a firearm is. I want to make sure that they know that we know how to handle it properly. And for those of you who want to learn how to fire a pistol or a firearm, that you know how to do it safely. Okay? So, first things first, before you even purchase any kind of firearm, okay, my recommendation, okay, and don't take what, and here's a major disclaimer right here. All of us are good old boys, backwoods, okay? Take what we say with a grain of salt. If you really worry about some of the stuff, like you're not too certain on XYZ, I strongly recommend do your own homework as well, okay? Doing your own homework will also help you, and if you have any other pointers in which you feel like you would like to contact us with, in this particular video, I will make sure that in the credits of the video, at the end of it, I will leave an email and or a Discord or Snapchat that you can hit us with, that you can leave recommendations for future videos, recommendations on how to shoot videos better, or if you see something that we could be doing better or be doing different, you can also reach us there as well. Okay? So, because we want to get you guys involved in this. Now, as I was saying, before you even purchase a firearm, what I want to make sure that you have is PPE, or personal protective equipment. Okay? You will hear some of us use PPE, and then you will hear some of us use personal protective equipment. They're interchangeable. What I'd make sure that you guys get first is eye protection. Okay? Now, for those of us like me who don't have perfect vision, like, say, Bigfoot or Cody, okay? Me and Daniel, we have to get ones that go over the glasses, okay? You can find these in any place where they sell, for example, at Ace Hardware, or where they sell chainsaws and stuff like that. You can find personal protective glasses. Those will work, but you want to make sure that if you're going to a firing range where they recommend that you have a certain caliber of eyeglasses, that you check what you're buying has that caliber of protection on it. And if where your local stores aren't carrying it, you can go to an actual gun safety area where you purchase the rifles and purchase the pistols. They should have something for you guys there to purchase as well, as far as eye protection goes. Now, you can also get ear protection, and I'm going to show two different types, okay? For those of you who are blessed with fantastic ear canals, okay, these should work fantastic for you, okay? They're earplugs. They will provide a lot of dampening effects to a lot of the stuff that you will be shooting, all the way up to rifles, okay? Now, unfortunately, I'm not one of those individuals, okay? So I need something a little bit different. I was fortunate enough through one of my last jobs to be given a hard hat that actually has personal protective equipment for ear dampening. This is fantastic for shooting pistols. I would not recommend stuff like this, okay, for shooting your higher gauge rifles like 308s, stuff like that, because you will have to not be actually firing the rifle, but pressing down on these to dampen it enough to not hurt your ears. So these are good for shooting pistols, not good for rifles. For the rifles, you would actually want to go get proper, let me stress that one more time, proper ear protection sold by the gun safety places, okay? We are good old boys. We're making do with what we got, okay? We're a little bit tight. Everybody these days is a little bit tight, so we're using what we got. So right now, that's what I got. That's what I can use. I know what that's good up to. I'm confident that we can use it for pistols, okay? Now, after you've got your personal protective equipment, then you go and purchase your firearm, okay? This one specifically is a 9mm, okay? Shoots 9mm rounds, and there are different types of ammunition, okay? You don't just walk into a store and go, oh, well, I want a 9mm, because what they're going to ask you is what kind of 9mm. Okay, you got your hard points, you got your soft points, you got hollow points, you got full metal jackets, okay? What this is it is a very standard full metal jacket target round, okay? It's meant for target, range, and practice, okay? But just because it says target, I want you to understand, yes, anything that is fired out of this pistol, except blanks, can be used in life or death self-defense situation. Just because it says target does not mean that you cannot use it in a pinch in a life or death situation to protect your family, okay? That's number one. That was a major misconception that I came across not too long ago. So, but there are different kinds of ammunition. So depending on what it is that you want to shoot, or if you don't know your different kinds of ammunition, talk that over with the individual selling you the pistol, or if you have somebody in your area that knows the kind of pistol you're using, or an ammunition provider, say, hey, I've got, for example, a DR 980, shadow style pistol, shoots 9mm, and I'm expecting to do, XYZ with it. I'm expecting to, in this case, shoot a target. Or they also have ones that are specifically designed for house defense, where it's not going to damage anything behind the target too bad, okay? So keep that in mind. What I want you to do is treat every single pistol, every single rifle, every single BB gun, anything that shoots a projectile, okay, as if it is loaded and as if it is lethal. I'm going to say that again. Make sure anything that shoots a projectile you treat as if it is lethal, locked and loaded, and ready to shoot when you touch it, okay? This is a tool. It is nothing more than a tool. It is the person behind the tool that decides how lethal or how bad the tool is used. So it is important that you know how to handle these things. So obviously I have it broke down. I have an empty magazine here, okay? Nothing's in there, okay? And you can look on the side of most of your magazines. It's either going to be on the side or on the bottom. This one holds 17 rounds, okay? And it'll also mark it down here, 17 rounds. Then I have one that has a round in it. I'll show you guys how to load it with this one later on, but this will be one that we will be firing later on for the video, because I will also show you how to fire the pistol and a good stance for firing a pistol. Okay? The pistol itself, as you can see, has absolutely nothing in it. There's no clip in there. The chamber is empty. It's pulled all the way back, and the barrel is exposed. Now the barrel lifts up a little bit. That's just this particular style of pistol. There are floating barrels and there are locked barrels, okay? This is a floating barrel pistol, okay? So just because when you pull it back and you see it pop up a little bit, that's not something to be concerned about, okay? That's how it's designed. It's meant to be that way. I know it's confusing, but that's how this particular one is designed, okay? Furthermore, okay? Now what I just did right there, okay? A lot of people are going to say, hey, you just flagged your cameraman. you would be correct, okay? You always keep your barrel pointed in a safe direction. You don't do, and forgive me for doing this, I'm doing this just for the example of, save for the video. You don't do stuff like this. You will get flagged on almost any range you go to, and almost anybody that knows gun safety is going to chew you, okay? But, okay, with this particular pistol, there is a safety feature in the trigger right here. If you turn it over, this is what holds the actual hammer back, okay? This is where you're going to eject your magazine, and outside of that, you do not have your conventional safety mechanism. And what I mean by that is a lot of the pistols that you buy are going to have a safety mechanism where it's going to be right down here in this general area of the pistol as a little button. And you can push it, and on this side of the barrel, it'll pop out red. On this side, it'll be solid. If it's solid, that means safety's on. If it's red, safety's off and it's ready to fire. Okay, this one is not equipped with that. Okay? So just make sure that when you're buying your pistol, if you're looking for a conventional style safety, definitely keep that in mind. I am a little bit more comfortable with pistols. I do not mind that feature not being there. Okay? But for those of you who may be training your kid, training your teen, just now getting into pistols, I would recommend you find a pistol that has what is considered the conventional safety button to it, okay? Because a lot of your rifles these days, like your 22s, are gonna have that button where it's easy to find, right there by the trigger, you push it, it's easy to go. A lot of your BB guns these days are gonna have the same thing. They have the push button safety, okay? This does not have a push button safety. Now, once you have gone through all that, okay, notice when I pick it up, my finger is nowhere near the trigger. It's up here on the barrel. You do not ever put your finger in that trigger unless you intend to kill something or to harm something or to shoot your target, okay? This is another safety feature. This is one that you practice. This is one you train yourself. This is one that you can train others to do. It is an extra step in gun safety that keeps everybody on the range and everybody in the house, depending if it's a house defense situation, safe until you are fully ready to pull the trigger, okay? So this is a proper hand technique on how to hold your pistol until you're ready to fire. Is you grip it firmly on the grip, finger up here, away from the trigger, okay? Now, on this side, you're going to have that mag eject button, and you're going to have this, which releases the hammer. I'm going to show you this part first, up here, okay? How that goes is you're going to want to put a little bit of tension to get it to drop like that, and then let it lightly slide forward, okay? I'll do that one more time for you guys, okay? So grab it here, put a little bit of tension, and just the slightest bit will get that to drop. Just let it slide forward easy. Then, I'm going to do it this way so you guys can see. You bring it back and you flip that little trigger right there up here to catch it. There's a little notch right here. So when you pull it back, you can set that in there. Looks like that, okay? Now, as far as the magazine, okay? With this particular pistol, the flat part's here, the rounded part's here. Flat part's here, rounded part's there, okay? It's going to go in like this. And that's the way with most of your rifles and pistols, is that if it's angled up, that's the side that the high end is what's going to go in towards the barrel, okay? Because it feeds up and then catches and goes in. I'll show you that a little bit later. Okay. Standard grip, firm grip, okay? You're going to take your magazine and bring it in the bottom. And it's not like the movies, guys, okay? This stuff slides really easy, okay? All you do, a little bit of pressure. That's all you need, okay? You don't need to be, Captain American this thing and slam the thing in there, okay? You can cause damage to your pistols that way. You can cause damage to your magazine that way. And depending on the particular style of pistol you have, you may cause a misfire. Okay? This particular pistol, I would feel confident that if you slammed it in there, it would not fire in this particular setting. Okay? Because of how it's set up. Okay? All it will do is set a bullet right there. Okay? But in other circumstances and other pistols, I can't say because that's not what I have. Now, as far as the actual eject magazine button, okay? Again, with this particular pistol, this is going to slide out nice and easy. All you do is push the button, and it drops like a dream, okay? One more time. In, nice and smooth, hardly any pressure. Push the button, out like a dream, okay? So then, once you have actually loaded, okay, just to show you guys, okay, nothing in the chamber, nothing in the magazine, okay, dead gun, okay, you will hear that often in a lot of our videos. You will hear some of our terms that we use is dead gun, live gun, range is clear, range is hot, okay. Dead gun means it's either completely unloaded and broke apart like this, or there's nothing in the chamber, nothing in the magazine. You're just keeping it that way to keep the magazine out of the weather effects that you may be experiencing that day. Like if it's a particularly dusty day in some of our western states, you may have some of those dusts kick up, and if you have magazines that are left out, it can blow some of that debris in there and cause certain effects with your pistol. It can jam it up, can make it a little bit more dirty. Especially, one thing that I do want to note is that if you are in rainy situations, keep your ammunition somewhere where it is dry. Because if you get a wet bullet, okay, you will not want to shoot that bullet. If you drop a bullet in a puddle, you might as well just keep it as a keepsake or throw the bullet away. You will never shoot that round. It will make the black powder wet, or it will cause other effects with the bullet, plus you do not know what is in that water. Furthermore, you don't know what happened to the shell casing when it went in the water. So if you have something foreign touch your bullet, I would advise that you do not fire that round, but we're all adults. Make your own adult decisions through your own research that you have made, and everybody's going to be at different comfort levels with their firearms. So I will tell you what I would do. I would not fire the round. If I dropped the bullet right here on the ground, I would go grab a new round. I would not even bother touching that round. I would keep it as a keepsake, load a different round entirely. I would not fire that round, but the price of bullets is high these days. Everybody's choice is theirs, okay? I would just not recommend shooting that round. Now, once you actually have it into the gun, okay, and it's loaded, okay, this is still dead gun, okay, dead gun, nothing in it, nothing in the chamber, okay, dead gun. Once it is loaded, okay, this is what it's going to look like. And again, notice no safety feature here. On this side, no safety feature here. That's where it would normally be, but on this pistol, it's not installed, okay? And in this situation, you can still drop the mag, okay? Not a problem. You can still load a mag. Not a problem, okay? But when it's closed up and the chamber's closed up like this, whatever you're loading in here is not affecting this. You will have to full on pull the hammer back and load a new round if you do it that way. Like for example, you're out in the woods, you know you're coming down to the end of your magazine, but you forgot how many rounds you have in it, but you feel like you're getting close. And you know you just loaded one into the chamber, okay? So let's simulate that, okay? So, okay, and that's called a slam fire. Don't ever do that, okay? If you slam fire a pistol, it can have the potential to fire on its own because it is sending that hammer into the back of the round, which is right here, And that can cause the firearm to actually fire that projectile, okay? And nobody wants that, okay? You could hit a dog, you could hit a kid, you could hit a person, you could hit a tree, you could hit a gas tank, you could hit a car. You could hit whatever's on the other side of your pistol if you slam fire it, okay? That is not proper handling. I did that specifically so I can talk about this, okay? Because you do not know how many times on a firing range I have seen people do this, okay? It is not safe. I don't care what anybody says. Slam firing a pistol is not safe pistol handling technique. It can cause the firearm to fire on its own without pulling the trigger, okay? And every single pistol has different pins, and they will all react differently to a slam fire. Some are more likely to fire that way than others, okay? But regardless, that is not safe, okay? Recap, it's just a tool, okay? This particular model does not have a regular safety button push, okay? It's in there, okay? Now, something I didn't state with the magazines, okay, is when you put it in there, and I'm going to put this close to me so you can hear this, okay? When you put it in there, you can hear a click. That means it's actually locked in there tight and will not come out, okay? Not this way. You actually have to then eject the mag, okay? If you don't hear that, that means you can do this and just grab it and pull it out. Your magazine's not set properly, your ammunition's not setting properly, it's not feeding in properly. Not good, okay? One thing that I did want to mention about the slam fires is specifically this. We had somebody out here not too long ago, I'm not going to name names, okay? Slam fired pistol, and you can see where it went through all the way. So when I say it will possibly fire on its own, living evidence. Now, as far as loading a magazine, okay, what you're going to want is your bullet, and you're going to want it touched down here. Try and keep your fingers off of the actual bullet itself, okay? Now, to talk about the bullet itself a little bit, I'll use my glasses as an example here. This right here is the actual bullet, okay? From this onwards is the actual bullet. From here back, that's where all of your compacted, explosives is going to be, of what they call grain, okay? What grain of powder is going to be back here is going to be pushing this bullet, okay? Now, there's different grains for different rounds. You can do different grains for your own homemade bullets, but that's a whole different master class, okay? All I'm explaining is the very bare simples from here forward bullet, here back, that pushes the bullet forward, okay? So you want to try and keep your fingers off of the bullet, okay? As you load it, you're going to want to put a little bit of pressure because it's spring loaded, okay? Not all magazines are spring loaded, but most of them are, okay? Most of the magazines have come over to spring loading, okay? So, this one particularly is spring loaded, okay? So you're going to put a little bit of pressure and then slide it back, okay? And then when it slides back, it actually sets in there. And as I said, why it's angled up is as it goes into that chamber, as it goes into this chamber right here, it's going to come up at an angle. Dry mag, dead gun. It's going to come up at that angle so that this way when it grabs, when I go forward, it actually feeds it into that barrel, okay? Nice and smooth. Okay. Now, I'm going to go into some standing techniques with the pistol that you can use while firing, and some ones that I would not recommend, and ones that are just showy and don't do anything else, okay? So, dead gun, dead magazine, okay? Now, this is the part where you would put on your your PPE, personal protective equipment, put your glasses on, put your ear protection on. Since I am showing you stances with a dead gun, I am not going to put these on. When I go to fire, I will put these on, okay? But I'm showing you particularly stances at this moment in time. Now, when you go to fire, you want to make sure there is nothing behind your target that you don't want to hit, okay? For example, say that my target's that log right there, okay? I want to make sure that there's no people, no animals, no, extra damage that I don't want to do behind that target, okay? Now, another thing, finger off the trigger, right? Always keep, especially with pistols, pointed at the ground, okay? If it does go off for some reason, for some ungodly reason, if the pistol goes off or you're holding it incorrectly, accidentally squeeze the trigger, there's an ammunition misfire, there's a malfunction with the pistol, it will only shoot into the ground. You don't want to be walking around like this, don't want to be putting at your own toes at anybody else, okay? That'll cause a lot of problems. And more often than not, you'll either get flagged at a firing range, or depending on how you do it, you might walk away with some shiny bracelets, okay? So, always point at the ground, away from anybody, okay? Now, when you're ready to fire, a good solid stance, 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, okay? It's the same kind of stance as if you're getting ready to fight. 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, you're ready to swing, okay? 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, got a solid stance. Then, okay, bring your pistol up, okay? Notice, finger still off the trigger, okay? Then you would look down the sights, okay? Line it up with your target. Make sure your arm is straight. Some people I would recommend put a hand on the bottom by your magazine just to be on the triple safe side that it is in there all the way and that it is properly feeding, okay? And to add extra stability, okay? Finger away from the trigger while you're aiming, okay? Then once you've got it sighted in, go ahead and come here for this, because this is a subtle change, okay? While you are aiming down, okay, your finger will not be on that trigger until you're ready to fire. Once you are ready to fire, your finger will come up off of that gun and slide down to the trigger. Go ahead and catch that. It will slide down, and then you put it in the hole. But notice, if he comes around the other side, when it slides down and goes in, notice the gap, okay? That means you are ready to fire. That does not mean you are firing the pistol immediately, okay? And when you get ready to fire your pistol, you do not jerk the trigger, okay? You want to gently squeeze that trigger, okay? You want to slow work it. It gives you more control over your firearm or your rifle, and it gives you a lot more precision. It gives you more control so it doesn't recoil, hit you in the head, send a stray shot from when it ejects the round into somebody's hair, into a piece of clothing. Gives you more accuracy down the range. Squeezing it compared to jerking it gives you a lot more control over what the pistol is doing. So, in short, hand here, firm grip on the bottom, bring it straight up. This arm with the pistol, straight. This one is just supporting, so this way you don't get as much sway, okay? Then, slide that finger down, get it in there, and then when you're ready to fire, squeeze the trigger. Now, particular stances that I would recommend is standard. A lot of police use this. A lot of military will use this stance. Standard stance, okay? If you are good at firing, okay, you can put your same foot forward with the pistol, okay, and fire, but that's only if, one, you know for a fact that you're strong enough with one hand to pull that trigger. If for some reason that you have some kind of cut, some kind of debilitating thing on your opposite hand that prevents you from helping stabilize this arm with the pistol, whether it be left hand, right hand, doesn't matter. You can do it one-handed, okay? But I only recommend that if you know for certainty you have the hand strength and the wrist strength to A, pull the trigger, and B, control the recoil from when it fires with one wrist, okay? Now, ones that I don't recommend is the showy sideways shots, okay? This stuff, it doesn't do anything, doesn't increase your accuracy. If anything, it decreases your accuracy, is going to cause your gun to jam up a little bit more because now the rounds are going to be ejecting at an odd angle. They'll be fighting gravity coming out of there instead of slightly working with gravity coming out the side, okay? Don't do the sideways shit, okay? Don't do the hip shot, okay? That's fancy, that's movie stuff. There are gunslingers who are extremely accurate with it, as shown in history. But again, a lot of that's for show, okay? As far as actual house defense, do what you feel you have to do in the situation to do it properly. I won't rule it out, but I would recommend the most sturdy, accurate position, okay? Now, okay? Hammer's all the way back, magazine's out, dead gun, okay? Now I'm actually going to show you guys with all of this that I just showed you. I'm going to put it all together, show you the results. I hope you guys have a fantastic and blessed evening, okay? So make sure you like, share, and subscribe, because every time that you guys like, share, and subscribe, we get a better opportunity to not have to improvise with certain things, okay? It actually gives us the chance to actually grow, give you guys better quality videos, give you guys better content, hopefully keep you guys better entertained, okay? Now, back to what everybody wants to see, okay? Putting on the proper PPE, okay? Protection for the eyes, protection for the ears, and in this particular case, since we're improvising, protection from round ejection, okay? Keeps it, this visor will keep it from going into the... Okay, ear protection is on. Now you load your round into your magazine, okay? It's in there, nice solid, okay? Now, dead gun, live magazine. This is going to be a live gun, okay? Put it up, nice and safe, solid grip, turn it over. Nice solid click, okay? Slide it back, nice and easy forward, okay? Loaded that round, okay? This is now a live weapon, okay? Bring it up, advance, got your sight, squeeze the trigger. Then, once you have fired your last round, okay, now a dead gun, okay, okay. Notice, no more rounds, right? Just the one, okay? This is why I say be careful with what you're shooting, guys. Look at the singe on that, okay? Now, once you fired your last round, especially with a lot of pistols, it will kick the hammer all the way back, lock it in place for you, okay? Then you eject your mag, set it on the ground, or on the firing piece, or the counter, set the pistol down, done firing. Now, this is the part where if you're at a firing range, about range is clear, means that there's nobody on the range, nobody shooting on the range, you can go down the range, okay? Now, most ranges will say when somebody's getting ready to fire, range is hot, which means somebody's shooting. Somebody has a loaded weapon and firing downrange. Okay, just us here. Okay, and obviously we're not at a range, but I still like to use the proper terms so that everybody gets to be familiar with it, understand it, and use it when needed. Okay, so let's go on down. And see, use the proper stance and everything. You can see right where I hit it. Okay, was aiming a little bit low, but the target still got hit. Okay, and this is why you need to respect every single rifle, pistol, BB gun, is it will put a hole in something. Okay, and it went all the way out the other side. Notice, entrance hole, not that big. Exit hole, a little bit more substantial. Okay, this is what's called an entry and an exit. Or if you're talking about an actual cadaver or a body, entrance wound, exit wound. Okay. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And thank Cody for being a gracious channel host, and allowing myself and the other associates that he has on this channel to help partake in this and help grow his channel with him. I will be bringing you guys a special treat, not just on Cody's channel, but on my personal channel as well. And I will leave a link in the description for that as well. I have a very special surprise planned for that of the 409 crew. If you guys would like to see that, definitely make sure you subscribe and stay tuned.